What's going on, Tallahassee? It's March 28th. Welcome to our Wednesday edition of FSU Weather. I'm meteorologist Jay Karstens.
And I'm student meteorologist Sydney Welch, soon to be meteorologist. Now, today we saw a beautiful day. I didn't get to get outside as much as I would like to because I had tough classes today, but it was beautiful. That sun was shining through the clouds.
If you were able to study out on Landis or anything along those lines, even just take the 15-minute commute while walk over as I did this morning, it really was a fantastic day outside. Mostly sunny skies, temperatures getting up into those upper 70s, and enjoy it while it lasts because we're going to be seeing a little bit of a change these next 36 hours or so.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about a system that is coming in our direction, bringing some rain in the area. So the few clouds that we're seeing in the sky and those beautiful temperatures are not going to be here to stay for too much longer.
But with those rain chances does come a little bit of relief, as today we've had a bit of a wildfire situation that escalated out in the Apalachicola Forest, currently in Gulf County.
Yes, so in Gulf County we are seeing 2,100 acres right now that is burning, and it's 20% contained. No homes are currently under any threat, but it is only 20% contained. So we're waiting to see some more things happen with that.
Yeah, hopefully we get enough rain to really help that situation before the cold front passes and those winds really start to kick up and potentially spread that thing around.
Yeah, because we do have some strong winds right now, so that could help spread the wildfire a little bit further.
Plenty to talk about weather-wise for the rest of the show. For now, we got AJ Willie out of the wall to give you a brief overview of what you can expect.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, we did have an absolutely beautiful spring day in Tallahassee for us today. We got up to 77 degrees, which is right about where our average should be for this time of year. And our low this morning of 55 was a little bit above our average of 49 for this year. So it was an overall beautiful day out there for us. Currently, we're sitting at 74, and that sun is still just sitting around Tallahassee. It is absolutely beautiful outside today. Winds are a little bit gusty, which is making it not feel terribly hot outside, keeping it perfectly comfortable out there for us right now. Now, if we zoom on out here and look at the national radar, we can see that front that is potentially going to be making its way into the Tallahassee region in the next 36 hours. Along with that front are actually some severe thunderstorms going on and even some tornado activity down in Texas and Louisiana. And that front is bringing rain to much of the Central Plains and into the Ohio Valley region of the United States. Now for tonight, it's going to be another beautiful night ahead of us. 57 degrees, mostly clear, winds are going to be calm. If you guys have any plans tonight, it's going to be an absolutely beautiful night to get out and do whatever you need to do. Now for the show ahead, we are going to be looking at those rain chances increasing as we move into Friday. And then after that rain moves through, it's going to be another beautiful weekend before it starts to heat up again next week. But for now, I'm going to send things back over to the desk with Jake and Jennifer.
Yeah, thanks, AJ. And actually, as we get into this desk, we're going to be talking about some dust storms that are actually happening toward the west.
Yeah, it's become a more prominent weather story the last couple of weeks or so, as one of our alum, Lexi Birmingham's out in Lubbock, Texas, has been able to observe a lot of this happening in the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles, where there's been a pretty severe drought going on.
Yeah, so right now dust storms have been affecting parts of Texas and Oklahoma because of the areas of the drought, but also many areas after the cold front will pass will start to alleviate it a little bit. But flatland does allow the wind to gust over 40 miles per hour regularly in those areas, so that means that the dust storms do pick up often in those areas.
Exactly. It's very easy to pick up some of that dry soil that's hanging out in those areas. And you see this pretty frequently in the desert areas as well, even in places like Las Vegas. We'll see these massive dust storms come in parts of the summertime, say from the outflow from thunderstorms. It can trigger seemingly this giant wall of dust that comes in. And
yeah, a lot of time highways have to actually close down because of these dust storms. Yeah, it makes like a wall. You can't see anything.
Exactly. That, and it's a major hindrance to air quality as well. Around Tallahassee, that's not nearly as much of a problem, of course, because A, well, there's really no desert or anything like that. We have a forest here. And B, the drought situation has improved pretty dramatically for us the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, we've had a few cold fronts pass through, so it's definitely alleviated some of the drought that we've had. We do have it in our northern counties of the Big Bend region, but
yeah, even just to the northeast of I-10 a little bit, but as of now, Tallahassee's not included in any sort of abnormally dry or drought situation. We'll see the new drought monitor come out tomorrow for that, as of course last weekend we had 5.5 inches of rain in one night, which certainly helped things.
And it'll actually help later on Friday. We'll actually see some rain chances again, so that'll be a lot better.
So, for the full details as to what to expect with Friday's rain, we have Sydney out at the wall with a more detailed look at our local forecast.
Thanks, guys. Now, we are going to be tracking a system that is making its way overhead Friday to help that drought out, as the desk was just talking about. But today, we didn't see any relief from anything really, because we just saw that sun shining and barely any clouds in the sky. So it was an extremely beautiful day to get out there, although it didn't help the situation with the drought. Now, as for currently, we are seeing 74 degrees, and it was a mostly sunny day. So that really caused us to have beautiful walks to and from class today. And also, don't forget the sunscreen if you're going outside, because that sun is going to be beaming down into tomorrow. Current temperatures, we are noticing mid-70s, 74 in Tallahassee, 77 in Quincy, and 77 up there in Thomasville as well. And into the dew points, it is feeling a little muggy outside due to a southerly flow that we're seeing, bringing those warmer temperatures and that muggy condition, those muggy conditions. So Tallahassee seeing 55, Quincy seeing 55 as well. And this paired with the temperature is causing it to feel even warmer when you walk out your front door to get outside. Now, as for those wind speeds though, they are ramping up, and that is giving us some relief to the feeling when we walk outside that it's very muggy and warm. So the wind is coming in from the south, and 14 miles an hour in Tallahassee, 12 in Quincy, and 14 up there in Bainbridge as well. So the entire Big Bend is seeing things ramping over 10 miles an hour. So we are seeing a little bit of relief from those winds. But look at this radar. It looks like over Tallahassee it's broken, but it is not. It is just we are just seeing those dry skies and dry conditions. As for south of the Tallahassee, we are seeing a wildfire, and that is showing up ever so slightly on our radar, and that is within Gulf County. Now, zooming out though, these conditions are going to change. Take a look at that front right now that is stationed over Memphis, reaching all the way down to Houston, that is headed in our direction, moving east towards Tallahassee, and we will be seeing some rain and clouds, and that will be a game changer for our forecast into the rest of this week. Now, Futurecast isn't going to pick up any of that rain quite yet, because things are going to be clear until Thursday, and we just see some clouds move in Thursday at 6 a.m. Flow is still going to be southerly. Things are going to start changing once that wind starts coming out from the northwest. Now, tonight's forecast, we are going to see 60s in St. Mark's, 63 in Apalachicola, 57 in Tallahassee, so mid-50s for most of the region, 55 up there in Valdosta as well. So it will be a beautiful night, and there won't be any clouds in the sky to really hinder being able to see the stars tonight. Now, into tomorrow's forecast, mid-70s, 77 in Tallahassee, 77 in Monticello. As we go more north, we notice Thomasville and Bainbridge, a little bit more warm up there, 81 in Bainbridge and 81 in Valdosta as well. Taking a look at this 7-day forecast, Thursday, we are going to see a slight chance of rain. This will be later in the night and going into the morning, because take a look at Friday. 90% chance of rain, so Friday's really going to be the day that the rain comes and that system moves overhead, changing those conditions back to basically what we're seeing right now. Sunny and 83 for Sunday, so Sunday's going to be the beach day, and some rain chances move back into Tuesday and Wednesday. We will be tracking that for you here at FSU Weather. But Jake, take it away. What's going on in the southeast?
All right, thanks a lot, Sydney. You pointed out that big rain chance happening on Friday, and I think this is a very well-timed segment in that we're going to be explaining exactly where that weather's coming from. Currently in the southeast, we see already the evidence of this cold front system that's over parts of the western southeast. 61 degrees in Shreveport, but you go just about a couple hundred miles to the east, and you get to 79 degrees in Jackson, as those color shadings really demonstrate to you pretty effectively. Here's the temperature change to show you exactly the same thing here. 19 degrees colder than we were 24 hours ago in Shreveport, 16 degrees cooler in Little Rock, and out ahead of that front you'll see Atlanta had 17 degrees warmer than at this time yesterday, as that wedge system down that affects that area began to break down just a little bit over the last couple of days or so. The dew point across the southeast, 50s and 60s pretty much anywhere across the board, although the highest values are once again immediately out ahead of that cold front. That's another indicator of exactly where these things might be. Out ahead of the cold front, higher moisture, warmer temperatures generally speaking. So we see that 68-degree value in New Orleans. The Futurecast winds is going to show you the evolution of this frontal system, as you see these southerlies really kicking up ahead of the front. But as we work into tomorrow evening, you see this push to the east of really this clear-cut boundary between the southerlies and these northerlies coming in behind it, with those wind speeds dropping down just a little bit to about 6 miles per hour in Montgomery. That is the cold frontal passage that's going to be working into Tallahassee overnight Thursday and into Friday, bringing us those 90% chances of rain in the morning, as Sydney had mentioned. Again, around Tallahassee, not really too much going on the radar except for that fire situation out in Gulf County. But as we zoom out, this is where the fun begins, because we have numerous active severe watches and warnings, severe thunderstorm watches draped from Mississippi all the way through into southeastern Texas, as well as some flood watches just to the west of Houston. Tornado warnings are also active here in parts of northern Louisiana, so as we get up a little bit north of the Baton Rouge area, you'll see a couple of those in the red boxes right there as part of this pretty big squall line that's really working through much of the southeast as of this hour. Pretty rare to see those spin-ups along those linear sort of systems. Here's the Futurecast to show you the evolution of that as it pushes its way off to the east. Again, beginning to weaken just a little bit as it makes its way towards the Tallahassee area, and it stops here about 24 hours in the future, beginning to work its way into the western Florida panhandle by tomorrow evening. So we should expect to see some of these effects, primarily just some rain, maybe some thunder and lightning involved in that. We're not expecting too much of a severe threat around Tallahassee, as the instability will be weakening rather dramatically before it makes its approach. Nonetheless, a very wet and gloomy Friday is on the picture for us. For tonight's forecast, really warm and muggy in New Orleans at 71 degrees, and then working into tomorrow, you'll start to see those that front move east with that temperature contrast, only 73 degrees for your high in Jackson, with 80s across much of the state of Florida. For now, we're going to go back to the desk where AJ and Jennifer are standing by.
Thanks, Jake. Yeah, and with Easter weekend coming up ahead of us, it looks like it's going to be an absolutely gorgeous weekend, and we've got a lot of events going on in the Tallahassee region as well. If you guys are going to be going out for Easter weekend, what do we have going on?
Yeah, we have a lot of events, especially for children this coming weekend. We have a brunch on Saturday and Sunday at the Edison at Cascades Park. So that's going from 10:30 to 1:30 p.m. both on Saturday and Sunday. So it'd be a great time to head out there and have some brunch.
Yeah, and also at Generations Church, we have an Easter egg hunt going on Saturday from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. and it's looking like Saturday is going to be upper 70s, low 80s, so it's going to be an absolutely gorgeous day for an Easter hunt. So head on out to Generations Church on Saturday at 10:30 a.m. for that.
Yeah, they'll actually have some food trucks there as well. And also on Saturday, there's also a doggy Easter party, so you can bring your dogs out. And you can also go hunting. The puppies can go hunting for their Easter eggs during that time. That's going to be at 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock p.m. on Saturday at the veterinary care facility.
And on Sunday, Easter Sunday, at Myers Park, there's going to be another Easter egg hunt. And this one is going to be a big one. It's going to have over 25,000 eggs that all the little kids can go out and look for. And it's looking like 83 degrees, so it's going to be absolutely gorgeous out there if you want to take the kids out to Myers Park. What else do they have going on over there at Myers Park?
Yeah, so actually at Myers Park, they also have a brunch at the golf club that's right next door to that, if you want to head out there. But yeah, this weekend should be a great weekend to head outside with your family and friends. So with that, we're actually going to bring things out with a national look with Jake at the wall.
Thanks a lot, guys. Couldn't be any more accurate with that assessment. We're really looking forward to a rather fantastic weekend around here, as well as for the puppies, of course. Got to give them some love. Nationally speaking, we got a couple of weather systems that we are looking at, and we'll start off by sort of, again, mapping out what we had across the southeast with that cold front that's spawning some severe weather threats in parts of Louisiana and Mississippi right now. We're at 79 degrees, nice, warm, and muggy in New Orleans, but behind it, things beginning to cool down rather rapidly, as well as in the Midwest, where we're sitting at just 50 degrees in Kansas City. And that temperature change shows you, again, a pretty similar picture here. We're 5 degrees warmer, actually, than we were at this time yesterday in KC. 11 degrees cooler in Memphis, where you're beginning to see the effects of that front. This is pretty much draped across the Tennessee and Ohio valleys up into even parts of the Mid-Atlantic, where we're starting to see a little bit of rainfall activity as the day has gone on. The relative humidities again, point out a pretty similar picture and really show you the shape of this frontal system nicely as we're dropping from eastern Texas, again, all the way up through Tennessee, Kentucky, into West Virginia, where we still have a bit of a stalled out boundary and some light rain that we will take a look at in the not so distant future here. But before that, we got to get to the really important things, which is, again, the severe weather that's currently going on in the southeast. A couple of active tornado warnings in northern and northeast Louisiana as of this time, with severe thunderstorm watches extending all the way into central and northern Mississippi. So cities like Jackson and some more higher populated areas are really starting to feel the brunt of this weather, as well as the Houston metro, which is going to be getting the tail end of the squall line. We'll zoom in on that and really show you. Flooding is also a concern, as this is a rather slow-moving and heavy rain sort of event that's pushing its way through. This is about an hour loop, and you see this squall line really not moving too much in that time, so we get this sort of training thunderstorm activity, and it can really dump a lot of rain in even just an hour's time. Again, the rain really even shows you the shape of this frontal boundary, which is something pretty cool and you don't see all the time here. Light rain across much of the mid-Atlantic up towards the D.C. area, Charleston, West Virginia, even into Cincinnati and some of the southern suburbs there. This is more of that light, what we will call boring rain around here at FSU weather. So not exactly too much to be concerned about, and we're seeing with that pretty mild temperatures, ultimately just a bit of a gloomy day out there. We're still seeing some snow in parts of the Rockies as of this time, although it is mixed a little bit in with some rain and even some sleet, potentially some freezing rain in some areas too. Dropping down from Montana all the way through Colorado. That rain-snow line is actually right over the Denver metro, which is rather interesting. For the rest of the day here, we're concerned, of course, about the severe weather threat as a slight risk by SPCs draped all the way from western Mississippi down through the southern portion of Texas, Houston, Corpus Christi, Brownsville, areas like that, all affected. That will slowly shift its way east, although Tallahassee is not currently outlined in any sort of severe risk for the next 3 days. As for tonight's forecast, we're starting to see really this cool down across the central United States. 54 degrees in Dallas as that rain finally begins to move its way out of that area. 39 under partly cloudy skies in Kansas City, so nice and chilly in parts of the Midwest. Chicago getting in on some rainfall activity at 43. And then tomorrow, only 47 degrees for your daytime high in Chicago, only about 4 degrees warmer than the low was yesterday. And that cold front is, again, the big weather picture, moving its way down closer to the Tallahassee area with those temperatures in parts of Florida getting up near the 80-degree point, which, if February was any indication, we're starting to get used to around here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And as we get into spring and into summer, I thought that flu season was over, but looks like the CDC is actually saying different.
Yeah, we're essentially hitting sort of a secondary flu season that's going on here. We really started to see a lot of this happening in February as the temperatures in the southeast were heating up to record levels.
Yeah, and the CDC actually issued a warning that influenza B is making its way through parts of the country right now, and 17 states have actually said that they have seen effects from this influenza B. So the CDC has said that there's actually the chance that there could be another flu outbreak as we move into April.
Yeah, peak flu season is over, but of course we have to emphasize that it's still a good idea to remain cautious about these sorts of things, and it's not too late to get a flu shot if you haven't already done so.
And even if you have already gotten the flu earlier this season, that doesn't mean that you're immune to this second wave that could potentially be coming through. So there's still definitely time to get a flu shot, and it's always good to be cautious.
Yeah, and besides, of course, the flu issue, we, of course, need to consider the allergy threat that's been really persistent for about a month here. If you drive a car or have walked anywhere around Tallahassee, I'm sure you've seen that yellow stuff popping up all over the place, and it's not going away anytime soon.
Yeah, the manufacturer claims that my car is blue, but as of right now, it's definitely looking yellow out there. So make sure if you are allergic to pollen to be cautious of that, because the pollen is definitely here and it's not going to be going away anytime soon.
Yeah, that's really been a pretty persistent issue across much of the northern part of Florida. But in terms of what to expect weather-wise for the Sunshine State in the next couple of days, Sydney's out at the wall.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, allergy season. Not my favorite season here in Tallahassee. It gets pretty rough in the Panhandle right now, but temperature-wise, 74 in Tallahassee, so extremely comfortable. If you do have those allergies, don't forget to take an allergy pill because tomorrow's going to be a pretty bad day with the pollen as well. But as we go down the coast of Florida, we see things heating up a little bit. 81 in Gainesville, 80 in Tampa and Orlando, and 79 over there in Fort Myers on the west coast of Florida. Now, we are seeing a little bit of a temperature change, not much across most of Florida. Tallahassee seeing 1 degree lower than this time yesterday, so 24 hours ago. Gainesville seeing 5 degrees higher, as well as Orlando seeing 6 degrees higher. So things are staying pretty consistent. I would say 5 degrees higher is a substantial amount. So those areas are seeing a heat up for the central part of Florida. Into our humidities, Tallahassee is seeing the same relative humidity as places in South Florida. So we are getting pretty humid because we know how humid South Florida gets. Places like Fort Myers, 54% relative humidity, and West Palm Beach over there at 62%. So things across the entire state of Florida are looking pretty humid. Into our radar, though, nothing in terms of rain, but we do notice that there is this wildfire in Tallahassee that is taking over 2,100 acres, but it is now 20% contained. So we will hopefully continue to see progression as that fire becomes more and more contained. Positive though is we're not seeing too much of a drought, just abnormally dry and moderate drought for the tip of Apalachicola. Now, tonight's forecast, we are going to see the Panhandle seeing temperatures such as 68 for places like Pensacola, and Tallahassee seeing 57. But as we go down Florida, Gainesville seeing 58, and Tampa on the west coast over there seeing 64 degrees. Tomorrow's forecast looking a lot like today for most regions in Florida, heating up for the entire peninsula. So Gainesville seeing 85, Orlando seeing 87, and over there in West Palm, they're going to be seeing 80-degree temperatures, but that is nothing that Florida isn't used to, and we know how to handle these warmer temperatures, and a lot of us here enjoy them. But we are going to take it over to Jake. Jake, what do you have for us over there at the desk?
Thanks a lot, Sydney. We're going to talk about some severe weather climatology that you see in Florida. Before I do that, I actually had to make a correction to something I said earlier. I said there was a severe thunderstorm watch active in parts of the southeast. That was actually a tornado watch, so apologies for that. I'm still getting used to our new color scheme with the new graphic system around here. This kind of ties into what I was going to be talking about, though, because we've noticed that we've had a rather quiet severe weather season around Tallahassee, and it's really good that we're not having to talk about that and instead considering things like the pollen that's been of course making its presence felt around here. But this is just an idea of really how rare tornadoes are in Leon County. We've only had 21 on record, which is rather impressive, and this record dates back over 70 years. The first one that we had recorded was back in 1945 on October 22nd. This is actually the strongest one that Tallahassee or Leon County ever observed, being rated an F3 on the old Fujita scale before they enhanced it in the 1990s. The last one we had was on April 19th of 2015. This was, if you may recall, as I do, as I was actually at Florida State for this, an EF1 that dropped just north of I-10. You could really see that from the Tallahassee Mall pretty clearly, and it hit really in the morning about 11:30 a.m. or so that day, part of a really nasty week, severe weather-wise, that we experienced around here. Today actually ended up being a weather history day as well, as we, this day in 1972, we actually had one of the more historic tornado outbreaks in Leon County history, with 2 F2 tornadoes that ended up touching down in the county. That's only 2 of 6 that we've ever experienced in 73 years at least of record keeping for our area. So this is pretty dramatic in response to some of the other areas, say closer to the coast, that really do experience plenty more tornadoes. I took a look at some of the Bay County climatology, and their numbers were over 5 times as much as ours here. So it's something to definitely be thankful for. We don't really see too much of that, although because we're getting into April now, this is that time of the year where we could start to see a little bit more severe weather activity. So, of course, stay vigilant and get that NOAA weather radio in hand. But for now, we're going to close out the show with Jennifer with a look of our local weather.
Yeah, as I give you one more final look outside at the weather stem here on Florida State campus, we're looking out at the sunset that's making its way on down. Keeping the clear sunny skies, only a few contrails passing across the sky, but overall it's a pretty comfortable afternoon. Today we hit a high of around 77 degrees, but we kept things mostly sunny throughout the day. I enjoyed time outside with today, but it was a little bit more gusty with winds around 14 miles per hour ending our day out of the south, and that's bringing a lot more moisture into our area, with temperatures across the Big Bend region are ranging 74 here in Tallahassee and even reaching 81 in Bainbridge right now, 79 in Valdosta as well. With the southerly flow that we're seeing, we're actually bringing dew points up a little bit higher too. We're actually seeing some moisture heading on from the Gulf with these winds, 52 in Thomasville as well as 55 in Tallahassee, so it does feel a little bit more humid when you walk outside the door, but overall it made it feel fairly comfortable heading in through the afternoon hours. It may be a little bit warmer for most of us. The drought monitor, we're seeing still some drought conditions in our northern counties, even heading into Georgia, but Tallahassee has cleared up some since the past few weeks. But overall, with the drought monitor heading into the northern counties, we're actually are seeing some drier conditions. With our winds, though, we'll see it throughout the next few days. The winds mainly coming out of the south, which will actually increase our moisture level with this oncoming cold front making its way over, and we'll actually see some gustier winds heading into Thursday. But overall, with these southerly winds, we'll actually see more moisture in the air ahead of that cold front again. And with the futurecast, we'll actually keep things mainly clear heading into Thursday, but Thursday night is actually when we'll start seeing the rain chances pick up a little bit, especially for our western counties. And by Thursday night, heading into the overnight hours, we'll actually see Tallahassee, we'll see some more rain chances, especially heading on into Friday. We'll actually see heavy downpours going into Friday. Tonight's forecast, though, will keep things fairly comfortable. 57 degrees here in Tallahassee, as well as 61 degrees in St. Mark's, and 57 degrees in Perry. A little bit warmer by the coast, about 63 for Apalachicola, as they have that warm southerly wind. Tomorrow's forecast here for the Big Bend region is going to be another warm one, similar to today. 77 degrees for Monticello, 77 degrees here in Tallahassee as well. 74 for St. Mark's and Apalachicola, but Bainbridge will see the higher temperatures tomorrow, again 81 degrees for their afternoon high. As we're heading into the day planner for tomorrow here in Tallahassee, we'll be heating up we'll wake up in the morning around 58 degrees, but we'll heat up throughout the afternoon hours, 74 degrees at noontime and 76 degrees at 4 p.m. But your 7-day forecast is when we'll see the rain chances coming back in Thursday night, heading into Friday as well, with a 90% chance of rain. But Easter weekend is going to look absolutely beautiful with the sunny skies and nice temperatures. The rain will move on through and we'll have a great weekend ahead.
Yeah, and Friday is a perfect opportunity. Any homework that you haven't done, or hang out inside, snuggle up with a book. I love rainy days sometimes. When it's not like 3 in a row, sometimes it's a good opportunity to get yourself inside and just do fun things like that don't include being outside and in that rain.
This is why I like cold front season, because the rain just comes and goes.
Yeah.
It doesn't stay for long.
So we see it coming on Thursday night, staying all day Friday, headed out, and clearing things up. Look at Saturday and Sunday. Sunday is a picturesque Easter. It really is something for the books because it's going to be completely sunny and 83 degrees. So get out there, get to a pool, go spend time with your family.
Yeah, it'd be a great time to head outside, especially with the children heading into Sunday. It's going to be a great time to head out for any Easter activities like the ones that we said early in the show in our events. But with the weekend coming ahead,
you can follow us on social media to track your weekend, twitter.com/FSU weather.
And you can also like us on Facebook, because social media updates on there every evening, facebook.com/FSU weather.
Yep, and YouTube, same handle, FSU weather, and when we're live, it is /live, as well as the Instagram has FSU weather as the handle as well. But for now, I'm student meteorologist Sydney Welch.
And I'm student meteorologist Jennifer Collins.
Have a good night.